Orange Coast College. They fought off challenges first from Santa Barbara, then from the University of San Diego. They held their ground in both situations. Whether they were aware of it or not, they also fought off a challenge on the far outside by Davis. But once again, Orange Coast College picks up the victory in this particular race. Fed says that your success is their bottom line. They truly mean it. Based in and serving San Diego County, Mission Fed proudly provides their clients with great loan rates, stellar service, and online access at missionfederal.com. Folks, the fantastic finishes here at the San Diego Crew Classic edition number 39 are available on DVD about 60 minutes after your race. All you have to do is stop by the merchandise tent and pick up a DVD copy of the race that you're interested in. They're only $15 while supply lasts. That is a DVD of each individual race available about 60 minutes after the race at the merchandise tent here on the grounds of the San Diego Crew Classic.
I swallow the wind through my nose. I feel the sand between my toes.
You know when everything just flows?
Happiness is calling me.
San Diego feels just like that.
I swallow the wind through my nose. I feel the sand between my toes.
You know when everything just flows?
Happiness is calling me.
San Diego feels just like that.
Washington State, Clemson, Texas, Tennessee, Alabama.
Jim, this is
Purdue.
What's the weather down like there at the start line?
Well, the weather is relatively the same, although the wind's clocked a bit more westerly. So instead of having a crosswind, it's kind of a quarter crosswind coming from the bow of the port side of the shells. Event number 72, the Women's Collegiate Varsity Invitational 8 Petite Final. In lane 1 is Washington State University, 2 Clemson, 3 University of Texas, 4 University of Tennessee, 5 University of Alabama, and 6 Purdue University. All crews are away, and right now your leader is Clemson. Clemson in lane 2 with a slight advantage over the University of Tennessee. Clemson's rowing a little bit higher. They haven't shifted down yet. Tennessee has. And right back in the thick of things now in lane 1 is Washington State University. It's still Clemson, your leader, followed by Tennessee. Now check that. Followed by Washington State in the 2nd spot. Tennessee is in 3rd. University of Texas in 4th. Crimson Tide of Alabama are in 5th. And Purdue trails in lane 6. Once again, very good boat racing here, given the crosswind conditions. And Clemson is still your race leader, but only by perhaps a seat. In fact, Washington State now calls for a 10, and they're pretty much level. University of Texas now has that 3rd position. Tennessee is in 4th, then Alabama, and then Purdue. So at 500 meters, the race leader is Clemson University in lane 2. Event number 72, Women's Collegiate Varsity Invitational, Petite Final.
They are definitely bow marker to bow marker with each other, Clemson and Washington State on this one, and they've begun to open up a little room over Texas.
This is the Petite Final for the Jessup Whittier Cup. So this is the Petite Final for the premier women's event at this regatta. These are the crews that finished in positions 4 through 6 in the heats yesterday. we would expect to see the boats in 1, 2, and 3 have an advantage over the boats in 4, 5, and 6 because of their relatively better boat speed and times and positions yesterday in the heats.
Clemson continues to be on the lead. They're out there in lane 2. Kind of hard to see Washington State through the gaggle of heads moving back and forth, but they're along the shoreline. And then Texas has gotten back into the hunt, and they've begun to open up some water over Tennessee and Alabama. Check that, Tennessee still in it. Alabama and Purdue trailing on the outside.
Purdue acquitting themselves very well. They're a club program as opposed to the varsity programs of the crews outside them. Purdue are the reigning United States Collegiate Club champions.
Clemson nosing out ahead, and they've begun to lengthen their lead. It's gone out to about 5 seats now. Washington State certainly are not allowing them to go away as our crews are laboring through this 2,000-meter course. Bow marker of Purdue on the trail. Then Alabama in the background of them. Tennessee you can see in the white and orange. In the burnt orange, Texas. All in the hunt here to try to pick up the victory in the Invitational Petite final for women. Clemson on the lead. Washington State along the shoreline, certainly not allowing them to get out of sight. Pretty much straight across. Nobody really out of this one at all right now. Clemson in that lane number 2 claiming the lead. Washington State falling back just a little bit with Tennessee coming up on the outside and Texas. Then on the far outside it is Alabama and Purdue.
Clemson seem to have had a race plan for that third 500. They came into it leading, and I think they've extended their lead a little bit in the choppy water in the third 500, although on the inside Washington State have hung onto them grimly and are still very much in contact. Texas have overlap with Washington State, and Washington State have more than overlap with Clemson as they come down towards the 500.
Clemson on the lead, and they've now extended that out to almost a boat length over Washington State. As Charles mentioned, they seem to have a plan as they were getting into that Ingram Street wind tunnel area. Just before they got there, they really kicked it up and pushed the nose of their crew out. Texas beginning to make a challenge on the outside, and then farther outside that's Tennessee, as Washington State appears to be falling back just a little bit. Purdue and Alabama staying within touch on the far outside. It is Clemson. Then to their outside shoulder, Texas is closing ground, as is Tennessee, with Washington State apparently have been spent a little bit.
I think Washington State have just started their sprint. Washington State rowing on the Snake River up in Pullman, Washington. They'd be used to conditions like this. So let's see what they can pull out in the last 500.
Dropped back a little bit, lost touch there for a while with Clemson. Now they're trying to get back into it, they being Washington State along the shoreline. But right now our leadership is Clemson, followed by Texas, Tennessee, and the outside Alabama has begun to ratchet it up a little bit and leaving Purdue in the dust, as it were. This is Clemson on the lead. Watch to their outside, Texas the only one challenging at the moment. Washington State seemingly not able to hang in there, at least on the early leaders. However, Washington State and Texas are in a little bit of a battle for second spot. Clemson on the lead. Texas on their outside shoulder along the shoreline. It's Washington State, and then Tennessee, Alabama, and Purdue. Clemson looks like they may take it. They are in lane number 2 and on a comfortable lead. However, Washington State and Texas charging into each other. It'll be a tight finish for second, but we're concerned about first with this Petite final. This is Clemson on the lead. Clemson with the win. Washington State getting an edge over Texas. Washington State along the shoreline. Looks like they get up unofficially to beat out Texas. And then we drop back to Tennessee, open water, Alabama, and Purdue. Clemson doing an outstanding job to pick up the Women's Collegiate Varsity Invitational Petite Final as they fought off first Texas and then Washington State to get up into that first position. Washington State making a mad charge at the late part there to get up into second spot, and then Texas finished third. So Clemson, Washington State, and Texas in that order.